Hello, everybody. Woo! I've always believed in the path of least resistance, and I started to gravitate towards that because when I started to relax more into my body and fixed up my problems, I was able to put my feet up and relax. And so that's basically where I'm at in my life. So I had to go through certain things to achieve the state of peace that I have currently. But in this space, when you're happy and you feel good, you're able to detect energy and feelings that don't belong to you just as much as you can feel your own. At least for me, I'm very intuitive. So when I go to a place that I feel resistance in my body now, before that even happens, I started to realize that perhaps the way that I feel is for a reason, and that the reason why I feel it is only known from that result of when I go through it, and that when I come home and I feel sick afterwards or something like what just happened recently. And it doesn't always mean anything bad or wrong. It's just that the place that I was going to had situations going on that helps me serve my purpose in life. And so from that place gives me the idea to share this video to help people detect these feelings. And whether it's a job and whether it's a person, the place of resistance that you feel is probably for a reason. Now, if you're watching this video or listening to this podcast afterwards, I want you to go out and experiment it, not for the sake of just experimentation, unless you have a lot of time in your hands. But say if you're just going through work or going through something with your life, I think that this feeling of stagnation is telling me something. Well, maybe I shouldn't be here, but then I go towards that goal of not being here, and then I start to see if it's the actual issue, And if I still feel disharmonized within myself, then it's probably myself that I have to work on internally. But that's because this is me, and only I know me more than anybody else. It doesn't necessarily mean this for you guys, but it's just something that to think about. In life, it's very short, and I try to compact as much as I can, one day at a time, which turns into 30 days into a month and a year. And from 1 year ago, I would never see myself holding on to this microphone at all. But every conscious day leading up to now made this happen, and I had to do something differently with each problem that I had. But I think subconsciously I want the truth so much. I wanted to be honest with myself so much that I was willing to accept that, hey, well, maybe I don't like this girl, and deep down I really don't find her attractive or something like that, and it's just that's one example. Or maybe I really don't like this job. It doesn't really make me feel happy, and I think that because I feel happy now, I know what actually creates this tension, that this isn't really for me anymore, and that I've just basically outgrown this place and the situation. And now I find a lot of peace. And right now, I've been slowing down a lot on my podcasts and videos from being sick, but I also think in this state, I wanted subconsciously to have inner peace. Therefore, it was manifesting situations for me to go through being sick and laying low, staying away from people, and doing less. And finding that part of doing less helps me find more peace. And in finding peace, I was able to come up with more creative imaginations and ideas from within, downloaded through the cosmos. And that was able to allow me to make a video like this. You see what I mean? Everything is a stream of flow and consciousness. But the difference with me is that I am aware of that because I'm aware of myself, and I know what I like and want because I know who Alex is. So the more that happens to you, the less you become a victim of your circumstances, and you work with the things that you have. But I couldn't say this, that I couldn't say that I was in this position a year or two ago because I wasn't aware of it. But I think in my mind, my belief system, even 2-3 years ago when I was struggling, didn't have a car, walking down the street to and back from work in the rain, snow, sleet, and hail. I think even at that time, I was going with the flow that was leading to the now, because it didn't seem that way, but it seems that bad luck can also be a great blessing in the long term. It's funny how things work out like that, because what it taught me was that no matter what and what happens in life, I will always want to find a solution to every problem that I have, or try to. And therefore, it gives me the ability to share such videos and podcasts to help others out there that are stuck stagnant, not knowing what to do, not knowing who they are. Or maybe they know who they are, but they don't know what to do. And maybe the only problem is just cash and money. You know, everybody's life is so different. Another thing, I start to see what's been happening over the course of 1 year, and I start to understand that there's people out there that don't talk about their issues, and I sometimes wonder, okay, well, they don't have to be like me, putting himself out there, but is them keeping to themselves helping them out mentally and physically? And I start to realize that once I question that towards one person in my life, this person ends up opening up to me. And so then I start to realize, well, damn, we had gone through something very similar, and I've been feeling very ashamed of myself for speaking out against my problems here and there. But meanwhile, somebody's going through it, not telling nobody, and I just was the blessed one to hear it. And so it gives me the idea that just because people don't talk about it doesn't mean anything. But on a universal level, on the scale of emotions, it's always the same. Anger, sad, depression, excitement, joy. If you look at the scales of emotions and energy, we really are just one. Sometimes on the other side of the world, the temperature is hot, and in Alaska, it's very cool. See, I've been very conscious about what I put out into the world, the energy. And with great power comes great responsibility. And so I got to this point where I start to be around people that I am close to more often. And to express something means that everybody that sees my stuff is going to most likely see it. If not, people are going to gossip about it. So I have a good following and a very strong influence. And a lot of people get easily influenced. I know I do, or have, especially in the past. So I can only imagine. Now, the thing about it is, what I want to do is not be a perfect person. I want to be me. And what I want to do and who I want to be is a very consciously aware person of energies that I emit. And the things that I say is coming from my heart, but it doesn't matter how it looks to others. It just means that I at least did something right by capturing that person's attention, and I hope that I can bring a mirror to them and help them reflect it on themselves. But that's really just the way that I see myself, as a reflection of something that the universe asked for, that people wanted, that people have asked for. Somebody that is truthful and honest and knows what he's talking about, and is just being himself. So now you got people that may say something about me or some positive celebrity out there that's doing something for the community, and then they'll say something like, oh, well, they got a tax write-off. You can't, I mean, you know, it's just always something. So you can't make people happy. But the person that did that is doing more than what a lot of people are doing, especially those people talking. So you have to look at what's going on. And then somebody else next to them would probably be influenced and naive enough to just go with it as well. But the one person that stands out to me that says, hey, well, you know what? I don't care what that person says. I know what I feel, and I like that person, and I like what I feel what that person's doing. And those are the people I most likely get along with the most. The black sheeps, the rebels with a cause. Not because they're destructive or a menace to society, but because they have a mind of their own. And they follow their own gut and heart. Even if I was sitting at a table in a room with them, and they may not like me or they may not agree with everything or anything that I say, I just appreciate them for being a real, genuine person.